My name is Chloe and this is a short film I produced about my latest adventure with Clean Ocean Sailing, a family-run non-profit based down here in Cornwall. I joined them on a recent expedition and wanted to share with you the amazing work they're doing collecting and recycling marine plastics. The success of this expedition relied upon collaborations with the Ocean Recovery Project, an organisation that supports local groups in Cornwall and Devon by recycling marine plastics, and Odyssey Innovation, an organisation that has developed a circular economy around marine plastics. I will tell you more as we go along, but without further ado, here is my film, Waves of Change. I hope you enjoy watching. I joined Steve, Monica and Simon as part of Clean Ocean Sailing on board their 112-year-old schooner, the Annette. This year, having collected and sorted over 5 tonnes of marine debris into specific categories, it was time to load around just over 1 tonne or 11 dumpy bags of recyclable plastic onto the sailing boat with a helping hand from their converted camper crane at their HQ at Greek Boatyard. This marine plastic was destined to be transformed into sea kayaks. Yes, you heard me, kayaks! All thanks to Odyssey Innovation. The destination, Exeter, where the HQs of Odyssey Innovation, the Exeter City Council and the Ocean Recovery Project are based.
So this is about a tonne of the rubbish that the group has collected in the last year. Things like lost and discarded fishing nets, old buoys and plastic cans. And it's this lot that's going to be taken to Exeter to be recycled.
You know, we've got a tonne on board, which when you think about the sort of 8 or 9 million tonnes that humans put in the sea every year, it's just a drop in the ocean. But we just feel that we have to. Creatures are eating this stuff. And then we eat the fish, and surveys are showing that it's ending up in us. So we're wondering why we get sick, you know. We need to sort this out, and I know it seems an immeasurably huge task, but we've got to try.
The first time Clean Ocean Sailing has sailed rubbish it's collected to be recycled. And with increasing levels of plastic being found, this journey won't be the last that Annie makes. Jen Smith, BBC Spotlight, St Austell Bay.
What better way to start the journey than on World Clean-Up Day, with a clean-up along the Helford River. It did get muddy, but life on the boat means cups of tea and feel-good food. Then, with the help from our navigator Simon, it was time to set sail on open water. Toby and I joined at Core Sand, and with the Jolly Roger flying, we were joined by dolphins, tuna and seals. We passed Salcombe and Brixham, arriving at Hope's Cove in the dark, waking up to this view. Another day, another cove, another clean-up. We were lucky enough to have one of the sea kayaks made by Odyssey Innovation on board, and this one was actually made from plastic retrieved from previous clean-ups last year by Clean Ocean Sailing on the Isles of Scilly. Pretty cool stuff. After another successful clean-up, we were on our way, passing some ships that were quite a lot bigger than ours. I enjoyed plenty of cuddles with Rosie until finally, and excellently navigated may I add, ended up moored at Exmouth. We had kindly been given some fresh scallops on our journey that day, so cracked them open and enjoyed them with the cold brew that evening on board the boat. After a pretty rough and windy morning, we were able to set off early that evening to traverse our first lock, Turf's Lock. It was a well-organised and navigated event, and we were very glad the weather ended up in our favour. Moored at Turf Lock, we ventured to the pub, a very welcoming sight. We enjoyed the sunset and the calmness of the canal.
It's almost 2 weeks since a group of sailors left Cornwall laden with a tonne of plastic junk, discarded fishing nets and marker buoys collected from beaches and hard-to-reach coves. Their destination, Exeter's recycling centre, where much of the rubbish will be turned into kayaks. Fitting then that the final leg was along the Exeter Canal via kayak, obviously. John Henderson tagged along.
Try and jiggle it around so that it fits to the floor.
Precariously loaded onto kayaks, dumpy bags full of plastic rubbish. Turf locks on the Exeter Ship Canal, the jumping off point for a final paddle.
We're doing it all in one go, all under paddle, no fuel burnt at all.
Ahead, a tranquil 4.5 miles to the recycling centre.
Finally, the day had arrived. Today marked the day the whole trip had been building up to. We would be travelling up the canal in sea kayaks and canoes, loaded with over 1 tonne of recyclable marine plastics on our backs. A journey totalling approximately 8 miles there and back. Now yes, this does sound like hard work, but the whole point of this trip was to have zero carbon footprint, hence the sailing and the kayaking. We were joined by an enthusiastic team of volunteers, and after stealthily loading our floating vehicles and after capturing some drone footage, we were off. We had to navigate motorway bridges and footbridges, thick weeds and reeds until we arrived in torrential rain. Although it wasn't so bad, we did manage to fit in a quick pint and some chips on the way. We were met at the end by members from Exeter City Council and the Ocean Recovery Project.
Can you pull?
Bridge safely negotiated, the drop-off point was soon reached, where Exeter City Council's recyclers took over.
Around a third of this will end up being pelletised and turned back into plastic that we can use to create kayaks and other sporting goods. Some of the other plastic, the rigid plastic, the crates and drums, fishing buoys, things like that, will go into the general recycling stream and will end up coming back as products of varying types.
We're just a stone's throw from the Ocean Recovery Project, just over there. So we managed to bring all this stuff all the way from Cornwall, no carbon. Pretty good.
A great success with only 1 capsize.
And after all that good work, time to paddle home. John Henderson, BBC Spotlight, Exeter.
Brilliant stuff.
We all slept soundly that night. With a new crew of volunteers, the Annette set sail once again to return home, anchoring in more hidden places along the South Devon and Cornish coasts. There were more magical sunsets, and they were graced by the presence of dolphins, and even this majestic fin whale. What a treat! More coves, more cleanups. The crew collected even more marine debris on their return. The removal of plastic pollution is a continuous battle, which is why this kind of conservation work must continue. Using an old sailing vessel as a means of transport presents its own challenges. To Simon's dismay, on the return voyage the Annette sprung a leak. Steve and Jed had to dive under the boat to attempt some emergency underwater repairs. It is essential that the Annette is kept seaworthy for future missions, and so her restoration work must continue.
Hiya. It's a beautiful sunny afternoon, and all my crew have gone home now. So what am I up to? Yep, another beach clean. Got a whole boatload of rubbish here. picked up from the rocky little bit of coast we've got just over here. Here we go again.
Once back at Gweek, the collected rubbish was weighed, sorted, counted and most importantly recorded, providing important data and information to understand the extent of littered pollution along our beautiful, fragile shores and marine ecosystems. Since the beginning, Clean Ocean Sailing have successfully removed a staggering 24 tonnes of rubbish from our seas and shores with minimal carbon footprint, a feat not possible without the continuous and generous support from people that care about our marine environment. All that's left to say is a huge thank you to Steve and Monica for hosting us on this incredible journey and literally sharing their home with friends, family and volunteers. Thank you to all the organisations involved also. If you would like to find out more or follow along with Clean Ocean Sailing, then you can visit their website. If you would like to make a contribution to enable this work to continue, you can visit their crowdfunding page. Thank you all so much for watching. Together we can make a difference.